Give me a second, I'm gonna take the hat off. I will not be camping with the hat on, so give me a quick second. Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to say all praises on to Yahweh Shem Shai, Shema Kakadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, the great millstone, GMS, do rule and teach well. Just going to get into these topics today. Many different topics, the scriptures to run through. We're right early this Sunday. Groundwater reserves in the United States. I didn't say double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, GMS, do rule and teach well. Right. So first article I'm going to get is from naturalnews.com. Oh shit, it's getting hot. I'm taking this fucking jacket off. So this is naturalnews.com. Groundwater reserves in the United States are being depleted at alarming rates. So the United States is racing towards a water crisis. So what I'm going to get is, we're going to get through 2nd Edge to 6th chapter. And we'll probably go into like a little bit of that revelation, the wormwood, radiation in the water and everything. Which is what's gonna happen when the missiles come down. I will just run through that, talk about the famines. Another thing that's part of the famine is not just food, but also famine of water. So when that martial law comes down, these famines, these water famines, these water treatment plants ain't gonna be running the same, and you people gonna, lose your mind. And, you can survive a lot longer without food than without water. Like if you go like a day or two without water, it's pretty much over for you. But you go a couple of days without food. Right, all across the country, groundwater reserves are being depleted at a dangerous rate. The impact of the depletion could be disastrous for America and the global food supply. An investigation found that 45% of more than 80,000 groundwater wells surveyed across the nation showed a statistically significant decline of water levels since 1940. 4 in 10 of the wells have hit record low levels in the past decade alone. Right? We know what groundwater is. I used to study that, back in school, back when I, was actually caring about having a career, But now, man, I just want to be a prophet, man. I work these jobs, whatever I can get my hands on and whatever, and I don't really care about starting no career and having a long-term business plan. As long as I got enough to eat and I'm alive and so on and so forth, that's enough. You gotta. There's nothing wrong with stacking up your money. I'm doing that too, but money isn't my top priority. The scriptures get salvation is, right? So there's no way to get that groundwater back. There's almost no way to convey how important it is if Don Klein, the Associate Director for Water Resources at the U.S. Geological Survey. The impacts are already becoming visible across the country. Groundwater sources on the breadbasket, Kansas, which normally produce about 25% of the U.S. wheat are struggling to support the 2.6 million acre dedicated to industrial scale agriculture. In the wake of 2 years of droughts and plummeting groundwater levels, Kansas is looking at its smallest wheat harvest since 1961. So that's the Most High is doing. He's lowering these groundwater reserves, and he's going to starve the people out. Like these Edomites starved us out. Now you people are all going to starve. Now that's all part of his man-made, part of his Most High. It's all Most High's plan anyway. To get you people starving and they'll kill them right now when that time comes. Meanwhile, in Phoenix, the fastest growing city in the U.S., state officials have effectively banned the construction of new houses relying on groundwater due to overuse, right? Because, with the groundwater, they dig wells. If you go upstate, I don't know what that guy's doing. If you go upstate, like I spent a lot of time upstate, like I went to school upstate or whatever. You spend a lot of time going around up there, you'll see that. You'll see houses with these big wells. And it looks like a canister, And oh man, why is my Bible on the ground? This is not supposed to be on the ground. It's lucky, never let the holy book hit the ground. The holy book doesn't belong on the ground. I always keep it in a bag, or whether it gets a little satchel. Best purchase I ever made. Besides scriptures, of course. Alright. Actually, not even me. My mom got me this. She thought I was going to use it for the gym, but she got me 2 of them, so I use one for the gym. She don't know I can't or whatever, but I asked her for another one. I said, can I have 2 of them so I can have different colors? But, I take one with me to the gym, and I'll put like a dick belt or whatever, and my clips. My weightlifting clips, not gun clips or something. It's called magazines, but you know what I mean. I just carry my stuff with me. Alright. So an investigation, from New York State is also hurling headlong into a drinking water crisis. From Long Island to the Hamptons because of overpumping and across the overpumping. But I think with New York, we get our water from Catskill, which that's it's up north, if I'm correct. That's where Mike Tyson, got his start. He was out there in Catskill. That's up north, if I'm correct. Well, I believe so. Ask me. Right? Across parts of Utah, California, Texas, road cracking, foundations are collapsing, sinkholes are appearing because of sinking groundwater levels. From an objective standpoint, this is a crisis. Ria Bowman, a law professor and water expert at the University of Tulsa, there will be parts of the U.S. that will run out of drinking water. Absolutely. All right, so we can go into it. We can go into these precepts. Let's see if I can find what it is. I might gonna need to look at my notes for this one because this one is a little tricky. I think I know where it is off memory. got a good idea. But I don't want to go off, you know. It's a nice sunny day out here in fucking Midtown. Kind of surprising because yesterday it was fucking raining and shit the whole day. Chapter to get into. So it's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and we'll go down to 12. Alright, so 22 is the point, but I think we can start off verse 11. I answered, I answered and said, Lord, 2 6 and 11. I answered and said, O Lord, I bear rule. If I found favor in thy sight, I beseech thee, show thy servant the end of thy tokens, whereof thy showed me part the last night. She answered and said unto me, stand upon thy feet, and hear a mighty sounding voice. And it shall be as it were a great motion, but the pace without standing shall not be moved. And that's the chariot. You know, the chariot has a speaker system, you know, and it makes noise, but you know, you're not going to be moved, you know. And why? Because the speech of these things trembleth, it is moved, for knoweth the end of these things must be changed. Right? Things concerning the end will be horrifying, but is understood. And it happened that when I heard it, I stood upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters, right? Which again, you know, it's that cherry speaker system. You know, we don't know whether or not it's Yahushua or not. You know, they talk about Yahushua having the, you know, it sounds like many waters, but it doesn't tell you whether it's him or not. You know, and verse 17. 16 and why? Because speech of these things trembleth and is moved, right? Verse 18. And behold, the days come, thou wilt begin to draw nigh to visit them that dwell upon the earth. They will begin to make position and know what they be that have heard unjustly with their unrighteousness. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Alright, and that affliction of Zion started with slavery. You know, that's going to end once Esau is brought down and Jacob is brought up on that high spot. You know, when the roles are reversed. They have a movie called Role Reversal or something. And, you know, it's about how white people get put into slavery. And, you know, they switch roles. I think Eddie Murphy was in the movie or something. That's going to be real. It's going to not be a comedy or whatever. It's going to be a whole real thing and deadly serious too. You know? And when the world that should begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. So, you know, that started in 2007 with the elders and the apostles, and they started coming out there in the streets. And that's when the books are really open before the firmament. You know, meaning that the satellite system were all set up. You had internet, you know, and you could, you know, get some good internet and actually like stream videos and stuff like that. You had YouTube. And before then, there was no YouTube. There was the internet, like since like the 90s. Like people have always been playing like video games and shit. But I don't think we had like a YouTube. And the elders were always teaching. They used to have a place where they could put it on the internet. You know? So they always been out there. Like your other camps, your leaders have once Well, they don't go because it's too cold, or you know, the head guys don't go outside. But they'll say, "Oh no, you guys, you're the warriors. You guys go out." You know, but it's like, what the hell, man? You're the boss, but where's your famous, man? Like, get out there and start teaching. Why aren't you out here? Like, I was trying to broke that down. You know, the one that's head of you should be a minister. You know, it's not the case with you other groups. Verse 21, and the children of a year old shall speak with their voices, and the woman with child shall bring forth untimely children. At 3 or 4 months they shall live and be raised up. Right? You know, children are able to speak earlier due to like technology and all that. You know that children 3 or 4 months old, these premature births, children are able to live, you know, while having that stuff, because you know, children are able to live, you know, with these premature births, you know, because you got these different technology that are able to basically act as a form of life support for the children, keep them alive, right? I have here neonatal care units. And behold, shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly appear empty. All right, so sown places, I talked about farms. So agriculture is going to start to decrease. Right, and these are all things that have been prophesied in the scriptures. You know, this is let me see, like roughly 2,500 years ago, these words were said, and now we're seeing these things come to pass. You know, these famines, these droughts, you know, these crop failures and shit. And, you know, the groundwater, like we're going to this article, the groundwater is starting to dry up. So it's gonna look bad, man. All right, hold on. Is it really 18? No, it's not. Yeah, 20. The trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hears, they shall suddenly be afraid. And once again, from the speaker system of the chariot. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Exactly. So on the earth, right, shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, right, because of the calamities, atrocities, and all the things taking place during Jacob's trouble. The people are going to be in fear, right? The springs of the earth, springs of the fountain shall stand still. In 3 hours, they should not run. What is that talking about? It's talking about these droughts. You know, these waters, the water underneath the earth, the water's going to be dried up. It's not going to be visible anymore. Let's look at 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 9. Let's take the flight together. Grant thee to live. 2nd Ezra 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, is coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come, that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Right? And we know what the people being taken in a great number, that's that World War III, that destruction. Right? And the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. And, you know, hey, it was like that for a long time in this country, but you know, the Lord, you know, through us, brought us out here to start teaching. Now our land is no longer barren of faith. The land was in full darkness. You know, it was gross darkness to people. This whole land was full of darkness. But until we came out here, we brought that light. You know, we brought that light, which is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, the Holy Bible. We brought light to this place. You know, starting with our elders and apostles and their elders on down. The elders before them. That was the start of us, you know, bringing out that light to this place. So now this land is not entirely in darkness. I might have to move to a different camp spot. This is kind of crazy. There's some sort of event going on at the center across the street. I don't want to, you know, leak my camp spot. I don't want to get myself murdered. But iniquity shall be increased above that which thou now seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. That's much worse. And the land that thou seest now to have root, thou shalt see wasted suddenly. Exactly, you know. When they say peace and safety, then come with sudden destruction. And that the sudden destruction is going to come via the ICBM nuclear missiles. Remember by Messiah, he told this guy, you know, he's going to come like a thief in the night.
It's crazy.
You know, but it's not going to come like a thief in the night to us. because we're the ones that are out here watching. We're going out here, we teach, we go into the breakdowns, we exhort each other, we talk to each other, we support each other, like the brother Shapa. He came on my page, I don't think last camp, but maybe like 2 weeks ago, and he was dropping some precepts, man. That's what we do for each other, we support each other, I appreciate it. He didn't have to do that. I'm happy if even just a brother just watch, he went out there and added some precepts, and go out to that brother, right? But the Most High grant thee live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day, right? Which that's going to be these signs in the skies and things, symbols of the end. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled, right? Pretty much not literal, but the trees will be mingled with the blood of the people. The stone shall give his voice, the sound of the buildings will be destroyed. Exactly. I had to go through my notes with these ones. This is a kind of a tricky little chapter. I don't think it's small little chapter, but it's a tricky chapter to understand. It's hard to, you gotta know what it's talking about. I kind of just, went into the scriptures. I didn't really, plan this whole video out. Like I didn't read the chapter yesterday. Take like hours, looking through it, reviewing it. Just kind of brought it out. Just kind of going off the spirit on this one. They saw the mighty streets that cast out fish and make a noise in the night, and many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. When they saw the mighty pertain to the coast and the water near Sodom, they could see aka Dead Sea right now, is inhabited with fish. It will cast out the fish, aka an unexplainable event. So there's going to be a fish kill, and that's going to come in these latter days. And make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall hear the voice thereof, which is destruction. And there shall be a confusion in many places, and the fire shall be arson out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places. And menstruous woman shall bring forth monsters, right? Fires being sent out off again is the ICBMs and destruction and all that, right? Wild beasts changing their places, right? It's already happening. The Lord's already brought that out. The scriptures jump around a lot, It's not saying like when the missiles come, then animals are going to change their places. The animals already changed their places, It's habitat destruction and deforestation and all that. The animals are coming, closer inland and stuff like that. You're already seeing stuff like that. People seeing crocodiles and shit on the street. Like the crocodile don't belong in the city. Crocodile belong in the swamp. But you have them in the city because of this habitat destruction, deforestation and all that, and shit like that. Bring forth monsters. Precious women shall bring forth monsters. That's the children with birth defects. I know some brothers bring it out. I don't know if this is the same breakdown nowadays, or it's the old breakdown or something. But brothers to say that these black women give birth to these criminals, these murderers. And that's what they meant by these menstruous women. Nigger women giving birth to these little criminals. Our women giving birth to these criminals. But I think it's talking about these birth defects. So I think that's the most recent breakdowns. And salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall be destroyed, shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, understand and draw itself into a secret chamber. Right, so salt water shall be found in fresh water. Right, places where you find fresh water, you'll find it contaminated. And overall, it'll be harder to find water. That's just not exactly talking about what I just mentioned. What I'm talking about is groundwater being depleted. But as a whole, there's going to be salt water found in fresh water, and it's just going to be harder and harder to get a hold of water. There's already a water crisis in certain parts of America, but it's going to be even worse. You're going to have water crisis all across the United States. And that's the judgment to this place for what they did against the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American. They enslaved our people, they tortured our people in slavery. Right here in New York, you can actually still go to if you have a historical marker for the slave market on Wall Street. It's right there on Wall Street and Water, the slave market. You know, we got all kinds of places all across the city where you know, slaves were bought and sold. You know, we keep on going. Then shall wit, right, with its knowledge, hide itself, understand and withdraw itself into a secret chamber, right? And that's what's going to happen. The famine of the word. You're not going to have brothers like me out here going into these scriptures anymore. You know, knowledge is going to not be readily available. You know, the internet's going to be out. You know, we're going to cut off our pages. And that's going to be it for that. You know, we're not going to be able to get this salvation. We're not going to be able to hear the words of the Most High anymore, get the breakdowns. You know? Let's see if I can get it. Let's see if I can find this. This is Isaiah. Book of Isaiah, right? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and 9. Stay yourselves and wonder, cry out and cry. They are drunken but not with wine, they stagger but not with strong drink. Right now, wine that they staggering with is these philosophies of this world. You know? Verse 10, for the Lord has poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and have closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, have recovered. Right? The seers is just talking about another word for prophet. So Lord put that deep sleep upon the prophets, man. You know, now certain men just rose up with our people. You know, many of them are still asleep. They're still in that, you know, that sleep, that dead mind state. You know, where they don't believe in those scriptures, man. You know, they just believe in following the world. They believe in going to college and getting a bunch of degrees and doing this, believing in their career. You know, this ain't the time to be focusing on no damn career, man. You know, the economy, at least back then, you know, there was the illusion that everything was looking good. But there's already been, you know, financial collapse. You got the GFC in like what, you know, 2008. You know, people out here following their careers, but this country's always been falling apart. You know, this country has seldom had times where, you know, everything's been all right. We've had, you know, Great Depressions, we've had world wars, you know, we've had financial collapses, you know, but they were able to keep the people fooled. You know, but nowadays, you know, the average Joe and you know, the average person is getting more and more up to game, up to speed. This country is, you know, not really worth, you know, sitting around here putting your all into, right? Verse 11, the vision of all has become to you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that has learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. Right, so it's still sealed to you. Now, but it's going to be sealed. It's going to be even worse. Yeah. It's going to be even worse when it happens, you know, when you know, Jacob's trouble comes down, when this martial law comes down. You know, you Jakes out here, you know, you're going to be looking for knowledge. You're going to be looking for, hey man, like why is the world so messed up? You know, how come, you know, the planet is so messed up? How come, you know, there's all these wars, there's famines, death, and destruction wherever I look? You're going to come looking for answers, but you're not going to find any. You know why? Because, you know, the men of the Lord were out here, the free Israelites. You guys ignored us, called us crazy. Y'all, well, it's just me standing right here, you know, hundreds of Jakes pass by. And it's crowded right now. It's kind of crazy, you know. I think because maybe buses came early or something, I don't know. But normally the buses don't be coming out here and people be moving around till like 10 or 11. It's only 9:46, so I don't know, I have to start coming out even earlier now or something, you know. And the book that was delivered to him, the book is delivered to him that has not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned. Right? And this is what's already happened, but it's just gonna keep on happening. You know? You guys are not gonna be able to understand it. You know? And that's gonna happen to you people. You're probably gonna try to go out, you know, martial law comes, go out to your your pastor, probably try to find some, hey man, you know what this means? You know what this means? I said, man, I don't know, you're not gonna be able to find no answers, And we can go into something else, because the rest is kind of talking about how Judah had they were acting righteous. They were focused more on the precept of men. They're more focused on little idiosyncrasies, like tiny little details, instead of the big picture, faith, so on and so forth. This is the book of Amos chapter 8. That's what that is. Let's see, I wonder what that is. This is the book of Amos chapter 8, verse 11. When days come, said the Lord God, that I'll send famine in the land, or famine of bread, or thirst of water, or of hearing the words of the Lord. Exactly, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a famine of being able to hear words of the Lord. You're not going to be able to, go down the street, because you have brothers all over the place. You got me in Midtown. You got some brothers out there, all the way out there in Harlem. I'm not going to tell you where they are exactly. I'm not going to, spoil it. You can go find them yourself. You got some brothers. I know there's one guy. Last time I checked this page, I think he was on the east side or something. There was some brother that was like a trucker. I can't remember what he was. I think he was at like Penn Station or something. So you got brothers all over the place. They're all over. Verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north and to the east. Thou shalt run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and they shall not find it. Absolutely. So you're not going to find the words of the Lord. You're not going to be able to, go on YouTube and find our channel and, watch the videos, because the door was open. We had the videos out. We never asked for no payment. There's no ads in the videos. There's no excuse. You never asked for any money. Give the truth out freely. You jakes out here, you just ignored it. Right? In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Exactly. So that's going to happen. So we can honestly just go into more famine scriptures. Just kind of keep running through it. That's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4. We can just go into this. It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken for want of the fruits of the land. Absolutely. It's better to die with the sword than by hunger. But a lot of you people out here, when that martial law comes down, you're going to die by hunger. You're going to die by thirst. There's going to be no water. There's going to be no food. Right? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 1. And said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stand before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight, let them go forth. Like the Moses and Samuel, still before me. Which I think that's supposed to represent the law of the prophets. If I'm correct, or maybe the judges and the prophets. Even though they were both technically prophets, but you know what I mean. Two very important figures. That shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? And thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, this is for the death, to death. This is for the sword, to the sword. This is for the famine, to the famine. This is for the captivity, to the captivity. And that's what happened to our people. The Lord said, cast them out of my sight. But he wasn't dealing with us. He said, get the hell out of here, because our people were very wicked. And they were going off. Verse 3, and I appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of earth to devour and destroy. Absolutely. And That's what came. It's gonna come down. You can make an argument that certain things happen already, but it's gonna come again. Let's see here. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Absolutely. So when the famines come down, man, those evil spirits that are in these people, they're gonna be riled up. They're gonna go out there and kill people. Because just look at certain countries right now where there's no water, there's no food, and there's horrible famines and shit. People be bugging out, man. Like, you ever seen like Dominican Republic or Haiti? People be bugging out over there. Verse 29, fire, hail, famine, and death, all these were created for vengeance. Absolutely. Let's see just a little bit more in that chapter. Maybe there is. Verse 30, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. Absolutely. They shall rejoice his commandment. They should be ready upon earth when the need is, and when the time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Exactly. So these things just gonna come, and there's gonna be no stopping it. Then it was resolved. Things that I'm writing. Then let's go to the rest. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 40. Let's see if you feel there's nothing. The rest is talking about let's see if he changed his knowledge. Yeah, night demons, night terrors. Verse 9. This book of Sirach, chapter 40, verse 9. Death and bloodshed, strife and sore calamities, famine, tribulation and scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. Absolutely. These things came for the wicked. The wicked of our people, and for the other nations. So it came the flood, because you guys just go out here and do your own thing, This is not meant for the other nations. It's not meant for you to get the knowledge. For you Jakes, you guys just don't care. Just like back in the day in the giants, sons of God. Verse 11, all things the other earth shall return to the earth again. That which of the waters doth return it into the sea. Absolutely. Because people are made out of the waters. Right? We brought out that. Absolutely. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verse 50. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 8, verse 50. For many great misery shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Absolutely. So great misery is going to come upon this earth upon you people, man. Famines, death. It's all going to lead up to them nuclear missiles coming down. Which it's pretty obvious that America is going to be hit with nuclear missiles. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. Beginning evils, what should I do when these evils shall come? Yeah, this is basic. We can go into this too. No more, we'll run through the basics once again. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and 17. Woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? And Ezra didn't know everything that was going to happen in those days, but he knew, in the spirit, that he was going to be alive in those days, because it's reincarnation. Reincarnation is a very real thing. That's why he said, "You shall deliver me in those days," because Ezra knew that it was going to come. It's going to be far off, so he knew that he was just going to reincarnate. You reincarnate every 100 years. You die, you come back. You die again, you come back, over and over and over again. Right? You play out your judgment upon earth, right? Because we know that Solomon went to break it down that under the sun is the place of judgment. Right? Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils come? Well, evil shall come. Right? So that's what it is. beginning of sorrows and great mourners. Like Yahushua said, it's the beginning of sorrows. That's what it is. You know? Sadness, being famine and great death. Right? Being of wars, the power stand in fear. Being of evils, what shall I do? This evil shall come. All famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish are sin that scourges for amendment. Right? Now amendment means to change. You know, these scourges, these whips, like a scourge is like a whip, it's something that causes pain. It's a painful kind of action, like a strike. You know? It's like a strike, that's what it is. A scourge is like a strike, you know, like a strike or something. You know? They're meant for change. You know? All these things should not tempt the wickedness, nor be always mindful of scourges. The Lord keeps bringing judgment to his place to get the people to change and to wisen up, but the people never change, never turn from their wickedness. And that's why the scourges, you know, the death and destruction that's happening in this country is only going to get worse, because the people aren't going to change. The so-called white man is going to change, so-called Japanese man isn't going to change, because it's not in them. The only people that are going to change in this time is you know, the elect, the chosen, you know, that only of the 12 tribes of the nation Israel. And that guy was giving me a fucking mean fisheye, like, you know, you better get his ass on, and, you know, you're gonna learn some wrestling from me, man. I'm gonna teach him these wrestling moves, right? All victory shall be so good upon earth that she think of themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion, right? Which part of the famine is going to be these waters, groundwater, you know, drying up and everything. Water is going down. Salt water contaminating the fresh water. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish with the famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right? And the modern day sword is your gun, your weaponry, and things like that. No one's walking around with fucking katanas and shit no more, unless this is like fucking, you know, fucking England or some shit. You know, them dudes are actually walking around fucking stabbing each other up still. 2024, you know. To this day, so we can go into some more. Go into some more precepts on this. Where's my card? I have no idea where I dropped it. Oh, here it is. We're just going to get Jeremiah 36 in a second. And then we might get into Daniel 12 or something like that. Just keep making our points over and over and over again until we're pretty much done. Alright, this is the book of Jeremiah to the 30. Verse This book of Jeremiah 30 and 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, thus speaketh the Lord God of Israel, writing, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. You know, Jeremiah, he started as a young man in his truth. The Lord woke him up at a young age. They say he was about either 18 or 20. 18 or 20 or so. Which he was a man, a younger man. Below the days come, let's speak at the Lord God of Israel, saying, write thee all the words that I spoken unto thee in the book or scroll used back then. Below the days come, saith the Lord, that I bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord, and I cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. That's what happened. Our people were in captivity, and then we returned back, well, we're going to return back to our land. So we got to go into Isaiah 2 for what's going to happen when we return back to the land. There shall be no more wars. And obviously, the people that are in the land right now are not the people, because it's wars. And it's not safe. And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel, concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord, we have had a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. That's the voice that's going to be heard in this place. A voice of trembling and a voice of fear. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Right? Does a man travail with a child? Of course not. Right? But why? Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned to paleness? And paleness doesn't mean white skin. Right? Paleness means fear. When you go into the word in the Hebrew, you got to go into these words. People always take these words, verbatim, and they don't go into words. You're not going to understand the scriptures unless you go into the Hebrew, the Greek, and a little bit of the right. Alas, for that day is great, so none is like it. It's even the time of Jacob's trouble, but you shall be saved out of it. Right? And the reason the people in travails because of the pain of the famine, the pain of these wars, the great death and confusion that's going to be going down in this place. People are going to be all kinds of messed up. Go into that. That was that. There we go. Participation. These people. Isaiah 19. Yeah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19 and 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come unto Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And the idols of Egypt talk about America, these leaders, government leaders, and things like that. And the heart of it, the mind of it, the spirit of it is going to be destroyed. And also the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his neighbor, everyone against his neighbor. They shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. So there's race wars and civil wars and things like that. We're already seeing a civil war brew over Trump being elected and things like that. Verse 3, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to wizards, which we already know that they do, the secret societies and things like that. And the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel Lord, and the fierce king shall rule over them, says the Lord of hosts. Right? And that's pretty much talk about these presidents. Give me a second. I want to see what that one is. I don't think I've ever gone into that. Let's see what that one means. Let me go into that Isaiah 19 real quick. We'll take a quick look. Oh, come. Yeah. Verse 5. And the water shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. This is going to happen with my CBM. So let's have a look at a quick breakdown for that. And then it's talking about the lack of food, lack of work and labor. Yeah, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 14. We're skipping down. Lord, have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. They have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered from his vomit. Right? Because there's nothing that they can do. Right? Now there should be any work for Egypt, which the head, the tail, branch, or rush may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto woman, and it shall be afraid because the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which she shaketh over it. Absolutely. And that's us. We're the ones shaking the hand. We're the one rebuking this place. We're the one expressing sharp disapproval of this country's ways. We're not, going along to get along. We're not engaging in that garbage. We're rebuking this place heavily. We're saying, hey man, we're not following this shit. And the rest is talking about cheap Israel's salvation. go into it's the book of Isaiah chapter 10. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 5, O Syrian, the rod of my anger, the staff in the hand is my nation. And the modern day Syrian, and all these American Edomites, the ones that have these rulers over us, Edomites, you know, they're the Lord's whipping stick, so to speak. You know, they use it as the rod of his indignation, which means righteous hatred, right? I'll send him against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath, will I give him a charge or a command. They take the spoil, they take the prey, they tread them down like the mire of the streets, right? And them, you know, messing with the water, and messing with this, and messing with that, all so that they've done, it's just gonna help them, you know, more efficiently take down our people, more efficiently, you know, tread our people down like the mire of the streets, which means shit, you know? So this is for foundations here. That is pretty much the point out of that one. I think I went into everything I wanted to go into for today. I pretty much went entirely in spirit on this one. Just went out and got whatever things came to mind. And I'm pretty much done. They say, Kalayim lo Yehovah Bashim Yehoshua Bashim Harakak Kadash. Love, honesty, yells, and the apostles, great millstone, TMS once again, and do rule, teach well. And shalom to the brothers out there. Let's get out of here.